There we go. Maybe we got some more lights. Awesome. Thanks for being here, you guys. Real quick. So I'll just take this 5 minutes till 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time to give a shout out to all those that have made a tremendous push in what it is we do here in this hangar and in the hangar core of the Model Rocketeers uh, complex. It's gotten big. It's getting bigger, and it's all because of you awesome people. So we're trying to set an example, and we're doing things right. And all this is in association with some awesome friends that we've now created over time, and we've got the right people involved. So it's starting to evolve. So I'm going to give a shout out to people, Michael Weimer at WebC Official, Andrew Cosgrove, and Hiko Nito. You guys know what's going on. So I've got you in the background doing things because you're trying to do something for yourself, and that's where this came from. It was me wanting to do something for myself and have fun, obviously building Gunpla. And it's just gotten it goes to all whatever level you want to take it to. So here we are, and I wanted to let you guys know that there's probably some changes coming. There'll be some rule changes coming as we grow. We're really working towards trying to help each other uh, boost ourselves as we grow this brand name. Maybe we're not quite sure, but there's a lot of forces involved. A lot of alliances have been made, and it's cool. It's a network. So I would like for you guys to get involved. Reach out to any of the admin or your local hangar representatives. Like Vince Palacio. We got Doug Goins out there. We're building a cadre. We got the officers corps. These guys have been around since the very beginning of the Rocketeer when I launched this to begin with, and you guys know some of the names have changed, but here we are, and this one was established, and the right people got involved, and this is going good. Um, we're just going to keep going from here, and this was just a real big thank you, for you guys putting out your effort and to keep going forward. Don't stop. This is becoming something a lot bigger than ourselves, and other people have recognized that when you lead by example or you're positive and motivated, it gets a lot more things done in the world, and we've started to set a standard, and I appreciate you guys keeping that standard. That's the most important part of this, because gun plus freedom. I don't care who can build the best. Let's build together, and we'll hash that out later. That's what contests are for. I get it, but don't be a dick. It's really that simple. So we don't, and we are trying to be all inclusive, because it doesn't matter who you are, you can build. But yes, we might be separated by skills, age, genders, whatever that may be, and that's okay. And we're going to find the perfect fit for all of it, because when it comes down to it, we're building teams, and we're trying to uh, spread this around in a way where there can be a lot more engagement, and we can really probably work better with other other distributors or retailers, and really get you involved on that grassroots level in your hometown. So, with that being said, it's 10 o'clock, and I'm going to call it right here and there and say thank you for all you guys that have done so amazing, and all of you that are new coming into this. I look forward to seeing what you guys do too. So reach out to somebody near you here, and let's keep going forward. We want to hear some good ideas. And I'm going next here into the live chat 24 hours a day at Kit Bash Gundam. Uh, and I'm going to start the What's in the Hangar Wednesday series. So what is it you've got? What are you working on? Obviously, you see what I got. I got some feet going on, but I've got some stuff that came in the mail for mail call Monday. So the more we can get involved, the more people get on this, the greater chances we have of success. But we're looking for a select few. I appreciate your times, guys. Look out for each other.
So yeah, I'm thinking Hello
I'm gonna
there.
try to into something, Mike. It's kind of like it just goes along with the what's in the hangar Wednesday theme that I was kind of running with, and just make it really basic as what it is you're working on in general versus being a more kit, not entirely kit bash.
Hi there.
I'm
Oh,
here.
buddy, what's going on?
I just can't hear very well.
Hmm.
Hold on.
Hang, hang on, I'll be right back. I need to do something first.
All right.
But yeah, instead of being such a maybe less focused on kit bashing, but just maybe what somebody has in their hangar generally working on that could be just anything mobile suit related or anything gun related actually. Because I mean, I just wonder if some guys might be a little bit hesitant because they're really not kit bashing at something.
That's
They're just straight
exactly.
building. So maybe this will cover some of the straight build aspect.
Yeah, that's what I got going on tonight right now is I'm straight building. I mean, I'm doing custom paint, but I'm not customizing the kit. I'm just straight
Well,
building
yeah, right.
everything.
But it's still, yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Exactly. When you start chopping on parts and gluing stuff together, that's when you got a kit bash going.
I I found it. I found this at a GameStop.
Uh oh,
Uh huh.
that looks
What's
awesome. When
what,
did you get that?
That's Gundam. It's it's Gundam Astray Red Frame inversion. That's that's actually the one kit that I'm gonna do.
Awesome.
Use a kit bash use to kit bash with the base Gundam Astray blue frame and the blue frame second L, which I'm gonna have to use the torso for instead of the base blue frame.
do you think about my rose gold?
Nice.
That looks good.
Hell yeah. Oh, it does look good. I had to wait to get the shine on it just right. See, my monitor looked a little different for a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so at least for what came in the mail on Monday, which is really awesome for me, is some of these awesome parts I've been looking forward to because of what I'm working on. Literally, most of the time is trying to get these hangers up and built for my diorama. But it makes this is my presentation of my builds kind of thing. So it was really awesome to get,
Looks
and it's just some photo etch from
looks really nice.
Steel
Uh-huh.
Spirit, which I guess kind of covers a whole wide range of names because I've seen Alexan model have some stuff like this, but this one is pretty neat. But one of these to start out with is a vertical escalator that goes up and down
Uh-huh.
the back of the hangar. So I might have to do some modification at some point to get that to work right what I want. And then these ones are like catwalks, so they can I can. I'm just not real a big fan of the Gundam bases that I have. The plastic is pretty badly molded. It's just good ripoffs. Uh, so I wanted some better detail parts, and then some scaffolding, stairs. For one, it's all 1/100 scale. I think it says that it is, but I'm sure that I can use these for other things. But yeah, these are like work platforms for like aircraft and stuff like that. And then I
Have you
picked this
thought
up
about
pretty awesome, pretty quick.
have you thought about maybe using Legos to make the hangars too? I'm because I'm pretty sure you could probably use Legos to make the hangars and to make like the base of the hangars, the catwalks.
Oh, I'm sure you totally could. Yeah. But because I'm scale mashing this part, it's all built into a diorama or like an underground hangar scene. So
Okay.
I'm trying to keep it all within a certain scale because I have other elements that I can't change its scale to try to fit in a static environment
Mm-hmm.
and look proper because the mobile suits we can't really make them move, but my dioramas have a lot of action to them. So there's a flow of motion, but instead of seeing them in motion, there's other things, different elements that move. So that way I can try to keep the scale appeal going. It's really interesting. And it's going to be something I'm going to be really excited to unveil at some point as this keeps going further with the Kit Bash Gundam at the Model Rocketeer and on my builds. Because it's all in the master grade section of the scale hobby here.
Okay. I mean, if I still had my Legos, I would be trying to use them to make hangars for my mobile suits, but I pretty much got rid of almost all my Legos except for some minifigs. Some minifigures.
Oh yeah, I got to keep this.
An A-wing and a few custom subs and an A10 and an A10 Warthog I built with no instructions.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that model I'm not getting rid of. Never.
I think my favorite aircraft model that I have is a Bell Huey that I was building. That's so far my favorite. But I've got a 1/144 scale F-14 Tomcat that looks cool on a small diorama that I started to work up for my X1. So that's kind of cool. But I've got a 1/72nd scale Corsair that is gorgeous. The molding is amazing. It looks good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to look at getting the Minerva, getting the models of like the Minerva, the Archangel, or the Eternal. And it's like those ships look pretty cool.
Yeah, I do like those. Those are kind of cool. I'd like to have a display of ships because I do like that aspect. I saw something that was pretty inspiring. It was just like bridge of each of the different section of the. I think it's really cool. I'd like to. I mean, someone's going to see this and be like, "Oh, he's on to something." So here it is. But to take a cross section of whatever ship it is you want, which for me was the bridge, and then a bust of it, you can 3D print this. I mean, come on, and it would look cool. I think it'd be really cool of each of the ships, or maybe even the hangar bays. I don't know. It's just really cool. It's a good idea. I like it.
Well, I'll admit, I actually thought.
So yeah, these are going to be exciting to build.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the first part of my Amazon order comes in tomorrow, so I hope. And that's going to be this. That's going to be the
Amazon. Oh yeah.
Well, initially, I'll admit I'm still kind of in the back of my mind wondering if I should return that other second red frame inversion, but I don't know if I can paint the blue sections of that tactical arms. Maybe even paint that backpack portion of the second L and slap that on the red frame inversion. That might look good.
Mm.
But I think I'm probably
Man, it
also
was hot today.
yeah. Well, we had an excess. I think we had like an excessive, had like a heat advisory down here.
We
I
had
know back at,
storms here today,
mm,
so it was wet and hot.
yeah.
And here's the smallest piece for
Yeah,
the kit.
buddy.
Wow.
Smallest piece.
Oh wow.
Like,
For the chin, or no, it goes on the head that holds the V fin, right?
yep.
Oh, those parts are a pain in the neck.
Have you guys ever used these? Check these out. This is cool.
I'm
Uh-uh.
gonna.
The little Gundam
Those
builder
dudes look,
parts,
dude. Those
1/100
dudes look cool.
scale figures.
I do not have any
No.
of those. Those dudes look cool.
Yeah, I was interested. I've been waiting on these, so I was able to snatch these up. I've got all kinds of. I've started to try to create some files, but a 3D printer to create certain items in this scale for my work.
Yeah.
You know, I need barrels and crates. It's interesting, but this was cool because I don't have anything. I do have something. I'll show you in a second. Let me set these.
Did you already make that announcement for whatever it is you were gonna say? Oh wow.
Yeah, it wasn't anything special. It was just a thank you to everybody in the hangar. Okay, so obviously the one is from a 1/100 scale Buster Gundam, and then the other one
Okay.
is from my friends in the UK at Plastic Soldier Company. They sent me a whole bunch of stuff for the diorama. This is in 15 millimeter.
Oh
So I
wow.
will see how it compares to one of these. I'm going to clip one of these out here in just a moment. I'm going to open it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'll just clip it open and see.
yeah, I'm looking forward to getting that second blue frame, second L, and getting that base blue frame. But I know with the base blue frame and the second L, I'm gonna have to kind of mash the parts together somehow. At least I hope I'll be able to.
Oh yeah, well, there's a way, you know.
Thanks, computer. Hey, Andrew's here.
Hello there.
How's it going, guys?
How's it going,
Not
Andrew?
much.
A wicked Wookiee has entered the building. Dun, dun, dun.
Hey Andrew.
Yeah, I was showing
the guys from, that I got this at GameStop.
sweet. The
I
inverse.
know. And I'm gonna use it in a kit bash build as soon as I get my 2 blue frame kits, because I'm getting the base blue frame and blue frame second L.
Okay, cool. Right on. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. So we have copper, pale gold, rose gold, pure gold.
Nice.
And gold.
Oh, it's gold. It's gold.
Sorry, I'm being a smartass.
You're fine, man.
Yeah. This is gonna look sweet.
Yeah, I don't know, I might end up assembling the torso for the blue frame second L, and especially while I wait to get the base blue frame.
Yeah.
Maybe even assemble the head portion too.
Oh,
Ooh. Oh.
sneaky
Nice.
Oh,
peeky.
that turned out well.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really nice.
Oh wait, I forgot I don't have most of my tools with me, especially a file. Shoot.
Oh no.
Well,
File.
I don't have a nail file. And I left my I left some of my tools back in Panama City at my brother's house. So actually I have to wait until Sunday to start anything.
Alright.
Yeah, that really sucks.
I think this is the right polycap set. Time to find the instructions and figure it out.
Hang on, I don't know. I think my niece is probably asleep, so probably gonna have to go into the garage for a bit.
Oh no.
Damn kids, always sleeping.
Right? Sleeping.
Well, this one kind of needs her sleep, otherwise she'll be up all night.
Dude, I have an 18-year-old son, a 13-year-old daughter, and a 7-year-old daughter. You don't need to tell me about monster children who don't get sleep.
I believe you. Hang on, I gotta turn the sound off for a bit.
Oh no. See, this is what happens.
Don't get me wrong, I love my kids, but some of them, when they don't get sleep, they're cranky.
Oh, very much so.
I'm gonna go in the garage for a bit.
Hey, the boss came back. Alright, so this is in the hangar getting WSDs. So that's one of the things that I'm working on. Slowly but surely. I'm also looking for the instructions for this. Yeah.
I don't know, I think I kind of enjoyed it better when I didn't have to deal with sarcasm from my mother.
Well, it's okay.
Do you throw the sarcasm back at her?
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm too much of a nice guy.
Oh, okay. See, I grew up around sarcastic people, so I'm very sarcastic. And when someone gives me a sarcastic response, I just return their fire.
Well, there's plenty of times when I do wanna return the sarcasm back. But yeah. But anyway, like I was saying, I kind of have to wait until Sunday till I get most of my tools back.
Yeah.
The tools that I took down to Panama City with me when I was doing house sitting for my brother.
Are they mailing them back to you or something, or are you going down to pick them up?
No, he's actually coming up here for Father's Day.
Oh, okay.
My dad got himself one of the pellet grills.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and he's given it a name, Boss Hog.
I'm assuming he's doing pork for the first run.
I think so.
Ow.
Yeah, the first thing that's going to be grilled on that thing are steaks.
Yeah.
Found it. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh boy, the sea packs.
That's what this is.
Yep. No, I had a fun time building the sea packs. But I still want to try and get the A and the B packs.
Okay, that's the right
for the narrative. But I know the narrative. But I know Apex is expensive. It
Yeah, I was
was
just
when I
watching
first
it
saw
go
it.
up in price here. It's at $115.
Oh my god! Just for the Apex?
Oh no, VPAX.
Oh,
Apex was like right around the same price too.
I thought I'd seen it for like $35 or something. Well, I think it's probably because it was the pack itself and not the pack and the mobile suit itself.
No, it's a separate thing.
Huh?
Uh, yeah, VPAX doesn't come as a mobile suit. It comes as an armor for Apex
Yeah,
or something like that.
and it was like 35. It was like it was a P Bandai, and it was like $35-$40 when I first saw it. But then again, it was probably like 2-3 years ago or something when Gundam Narrative came out.
Okay. B. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, right?
I see that's gonna be Iron Man's Gundam, even though he's got Wing Zero.
G. Okay. With this one?
Yeah, the narrative, that
No,
narrative C-Pax.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Or at least I'm not building it to look that way.
Yeah, see, for me, I think for me, and this is my opinion, I think he probably would have gone with the Strike Gundam or Strike E, or probably something like the narrative, which is pretty much like a skeleton. Yeah, which is pretty much just a lightly armored skeletal Gundam used for test beds and whatnot.
Okay.
And then just slap on the armor and stuff. But that's just me.
It looks so weird.
What's Mr. Carey working on this evening?
False. Okay, looks like he's working on that Zaku too. Where's all that feedback coming from?
I think I lost sound.
Yeah, I guess I'll try my bedroom again. I'm starting to sweat again in here. That's a bad idea.
Well, in all fairness, you are in Florida, so I mean it is hot there.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. I just got to make sure I keep it down.
Well, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, and shocking, it's raining here.
Honestly, I don't know. I might say it that I'm jealous and would want to trade places with you.
Well, it gets hot here, trust me. But we're having some January weather here.
January. That's great.
Okay, here we go. Much better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like to make up words for situations.
It's all right. It sounded good.
Oh, you're fine, man. It's that time again. Yeah, I gotta make sure I text my brother. Like, please don't forget the box that's got my Pale Rider suit and my tools. Please. I
Them
need
kids
it.
getting some free stuff.
Hey, Mike, how did did you do your job interview yet, or did that?
Yes, actually, yeah, I did my job interview with Lowe's, and they were like, we want you, we're hiring you. But yeah, they liked that I had experience with. Thank you. They liked that I had experience with Home Depot,
Mm-hmm.
and they actually were like, well, this is where we'd start you at like 12 something, but with your experience and whatnot, we're bumping you up to $14 an hour. And I'm like,
Oh, there you go.
yeah, I know.
What's minimum wage in your state?
I'm not sure what it is, what minimum is here in Florida. Intersecting wheels. Oh. But yeah, no, I don't know what minimum wage is here in Florida. All I know is that I'm getting paid what I was getting paid before I left Home Depot.
Well, there you go. That's at least it's a step in the right direction. You're not losing anything.
No. But for me the sad thing is that the management, especially with the Home Depot that I was trying to get into, they saw that I had some performance issues, and they weren't willing to look past them.
Performance issues. How?
I had a few write-ups. I had a few write-ups,
Oh, okay.
and they just saw those, and they weren't willing to. Like I said, they weren't willing to look past those and consider me even for transfer.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. And that just kind of irked me.
Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of shocked that even with a big box store like Home Depot, normally speaking, if you have kind of a explanation that way, that normally it's not really a hold you back thing. Like you may not get as much as a yearly pay raise or something along that line, but for them to hold back on a store transfer or even management is kind of odd. Because I know up here in Canada, like all of the big box stores are screaming for.
Yeah, well, even Home Depot's hurting for help, and I would have thought they'd be like, dude, come over. We need help. Come help. But nope.
Like, I mean, years ago when I was a kid, I worked for Walmart and their automotive department, doing tires and oil changes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Basic maintenance stuff. But, I'm sure if I wanted a job back working in one of their automotive centers, I'd have one in a heartbeat because of the years of experience I have in the automotive field. But for me, the pay wouldn't be enough for me to go.
Mm-hmm. Oh well.
There's something to be said about being able to go to work and being like, yeah, and my shift's over. Have a nice day, guys, and walk out the door.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well,
not having to take it home with you.
Well,
Wow.
I actually walked into the. My mom and I went over to the big lot store that I worked at before we moved here to Milton,
Why am I
and
doing
I was like, "Hey guys," and I was kind of thinking they'd be like, "Oh, Ken," but no, they're like, "Dude, how you been? We miss you, man."
Yeah.
All right.
Because I honestly I thought I'd
What's going on with your audio device, Mike?
me.
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, hold up.
Because I'm getting like, it's either you or I'm getting like a whole bunch of feedback right now.
Well, it shouldn't be me because I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm getting a ton of feedback too. I'm not sure who it's from though.
But my feedback's not coming from Andrew. Because I can hear Andrew just fine. He don't cause feedback. But Mike was causing feedback like crazy.
It's weird. Hang on, let me turn the sound down on my. Are you hearing me better or
What?
are you hearing me better or are you sure it's not? Oh, there. Are you hearing me better now?
I think it was Carrie.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's using a really old computer to talk with us when he should be using his computer to type and text, and he should be using his phone to talk with
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have a technology talk with him. 'Cause he's.
Hey, be nice to us old dinosaurs.
I will. I'm just saying, I know how he's got it, like how he's running it and how he wants it running and stuff. So I can understand what his issue is. I think it's just his computer's getting some lag, and when the Wi-Fi signal's not that great, computers tend to have some really bad lag. So
Just remember, Mike, when you have that talk with him, you got to get your arms up here, like the little T-Rex for the sign language thing.
oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so that's pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah.
Cubbies are nice.
I enjoyed building the narrative Gundam C packs.
It feels like a mini Master Grade.
Yeah, in some ways it does.
You
Oh,
bastard.
he's back.
Hey, Carrie. Still can't hear you, brother.
I actually saw I was out running a couple errands today, and I saw the best T-shirt
Not
ever
yet.
that I have to.
Oh yeah.
No, I can't hear you very good, buddy.
No, we can't hear you either. So, what the T-shirt say?
All right. Does that help anything like that?
It was a picture of a T-Rex roaring, but in each hand he had those like little extension grabber things, and underneath it said, "I am unstoppable."
Oh no.
I saw that and I was like, "Yes, I need to get that."
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty damn cool. Because it was
my
like the
dad's got
T-Rex. It was like the T-Rex from Jurassic Park on the shirt, but it just had the little like hand grabber extenders.
Yeah.
My dad's got a T-shirt and it's got a T-Rex sitting in a rowboat trying to reach the oars.
Yeah.
And it says row 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 your.
Oh. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Almost, almost seemed like something out of what was it? Oh yeah, Meet the Robinsons. Why aren't you seizing the boy? I have little hands and I have a big hand and little arms.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna get it figured out here soon.
Yeah, my daughter's got a T-Rex T-shirt, which is T-Rex sitting on his head, like upside down on his head, and it says handstand.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of gibberish carry.
I don't think I've got any Dino T-shirts. None. And
Switch to your cell phone, boss.
Plus, I need to get. Plus, I'm trying to make sure I look for a car.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Mike, hold on. Mike, we're trying to figure something out. When Carrie comes back on, you got to be quiet for a minute. You keep interrupting him, and it causes his signal to fuck up. You got to chill out, dude. We're trying to figure something out. He's hosting this show, not me or Andrew. I'm only here to record. Carrie, I can't. Your computer's just not doing it today, brother.
No, I don't even know what happened. That's so funny. We're good now. I was just kind of sitting in for a minute, but yeah, I'll have to.
All right. So I was like trying to explain to Andrew, like we're trying to figure out what's going on with your computer, and he keeps like talking over you, and I can't. All that comes through is just a giant garbled mess. And
okay.
All right, so yeah, your computer is not getting a great Wi-Fi connection or whatever. You got it on hardwired? Can you hardwire it?
Oh, I can. Maybe I'll have to figure that out because my Wi-Fi is downstairs and I'm upstairs. Yeah, I'll have to work on something. I see what's happening now.
All right. Because I will definitely send you a little clip of all of that stuff that I gotta delete now, because like over on my end, I was starting to get a headache. Like, why is it doing that? Like every time somebody would talk.
It was actually mine. I thought it was Mike's for a second because when he popped on, it seemed like it started or something. Like I think it was actually when I disconnected and reconnected, I started it, and I was like, oh, I'll just deal with it, and I just turned it down, and I was like, this is just getting too much because I couldn't be heard, so I figured I was like, it has to be my feedback. I just didn't know what was happening, so no big deal.
All right. So moving forward. Now you can continue again, Mike.
All right. Sorry about that. I didn't know I was causing any problems.
No, you weren't. It was me. I thought it was you for a second, so I just let it roll. It was just a miscommunication. You're good. Go ahead and proceed with your chat.
But anyway, what I'm hoping to do is once I get my first car is I'm gonna get a sticker on it, and it's gonna say my other ride is a Gundam, and it's it's not gonna have the granddaddy. It's gonna have the Strike Gundam on it. I'll be like, that's my other ride.
On the back of our minivan, mine says my other ride is the Millennium Falcon.
Nice. I have one of those window visors when you put it in the front. It looks like the view to the Millennium Falcon of everybody sitting with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
I've seen another one that was like my other ride is the TARDIS.
That's what I named my house. Me and my wife,
we
named our house the TARDIS. Yeah. Because it's bigger on the inside.
Right. All right, so I got a question. You guys, when you're sanding plastics or when you pull out your knife, can you instantly tell the difference in the type of plastic you're working with? In this Zaku, I have multiple frame colors. One is this dark brown, and then I have the regular gray. But this is a lot softer, so when I go to sand it with my glass file, and it's a good one, it gives me this weird. It doesn't grind properly, because it's soft, right? More rubbery, kind of the way it would if you were trying to. So I don't like that about kits. I really despise that.
I know what you're talking about. There's nothing I can. There's no. I've got no support for
But,
that.
like the gray pieces of part of the armor, it's made of the hard plastic that we all know that scribes so well, right?
Yeah,
And then I've got all these other armor pieces, but it's made of a soft plastic. And I started sanding it, and I was like, this is kind of garbage for sanding with the glass file because it's not cutting right.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, no shit. I don't like that. I just made that assumption. I made that conclusion.
I've found in my experience, not necessarily with Gunpla, but with model kits in general, it really does depend a lot on the manufacturer, on how well kits will sand. You know, if you buy a better brand of kit, like if you're buying, like, say, an Academy or Tamiya kits, they sand up really nicely. But if you get like an old Revell kit or something like that,
no.
Right.
Yeah,
the
they're like chalky.
plastic, yeah, they get really chalky, or they're really brittle, and they'll snap. Like, smaller pieces will break the minute you try and clean it up. I haven't really experienced it too much with Gundam, but I do know that there is definitely a difference between the different colors on how they clean up.
Because I just sanded that. I don't know. I mean, I'll get a camera. I don't know where my camera is. So I'm not gonna be able to see it. But anyway, I just sanded it and I was able to remove the nub mark. But it wouldn't be the leading edge, but it would be the trailing edge of the plane that I'm sanding. I was able to remove the nub, but there's that overhang, right? So I got that. So I'm using my knife to cut that flash. It creates a flash. You know, it grinds off and leaves a flash. It's like,
Yep.
actually, in the harder plastic, it cuts off smooth from start to finish. You know, so you can just take shot. Because I go one direction sometimes, and that's what I did until it disappeared. It disappeared, but it left that overhang of flash, and I had to flip the part and do the reverse edge to clean it off. I don't like that because then when you put the two pieces together, like I'm doing for the Zaku knee, now I have two concave surfaces I would have to fill.
Yeah, that don't match up or anything because you didn't cut them together. I know. Yeah, that's
Right.
part of the HG battle right there. The battle everybody has with HG kits is you get that flash between the two seams that really doesn't look appealing.
Yep. And you can't really glue it either because it's not the same plastic, so you don't use a styrene type solvent on it because it melts the shit out of it and it makes it real wobbly. But the reason it's made of softer rubbery material is because it's in the joints, if you notice. And so that's where the flexibility comes from, so it doesn't get tweaked too hard. And the armor pieces are the hard plastics, I feel.
That looks spectacular, Mike.
So
That's awesome.
this is copper.
Ooh.
This piece right here is copper. This
Cool.
piece is rose gold.
I got another question now, thinking of colors, and I see that. Do you ever consider what kind of color you're using based on its metal properties and where you place it? If you're a
No,
heavy equipment operator or a mechanic, you know brass bolts aren't made of brass.
Nope.
no,
Brass is for ornamental work, right? Or
Yeah.
copper's.
right.
So
No. This is definitely not. This is not for practicality. I'm not
right,
like this one.
Right.
Definitely isn't built on, like, when a Gundam goes into its super mode and it's super shiny and everything in the anime. That's what this is. This is just that version of the Gundam going through super psycho mode. So it would usually tend to turn gold or illuminate whatever the psycho frame particles
the Trans
illuminate.
Am effect
Yeah.
or whatever.
So
I like
yeah.
it. Cool.
So over obsessing with the gold aspect of everything, different colors of gold, So
I definitely do. I know what Carrie's talking about, though.
Yep.
And when I go to paint frames, like frame parts, and like, not necessarily the armor plate, but like the underframing and stuff like that, and joints, I do find myself, like, if it's like a hydraulic ram, or it's supposed to be a hydraulic ram, I find myself doing, like, part of it in like a black or like a gunmetal, like a dark gunmetal color. And then like the top of the ram, of course, is that, like stainless steel kind of look,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That gives it that kind of realistic effect of, okay, this is an actual moving joint.
It needs to be strong and stable versus like, wow, this is. I mean, I get it. Because what is it in the Spanish culture? They have that. It's like lowriders, right? But it's called
Yeah.
like Mexica. But they trick those trucks out, and they're all chromed and gold brass plated. Everything is tricked out, but that's all it's for. It's a show queen. I get it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
trailer.
it's a pavement princess. It's not meant for work.
No.
Right. And I have respect for that too, because some of them are, dude, they're beautiful.
Oh
But
yeah.
but we live in that scale modelers world, me and you, I think too. I think Mike does also, all of us, because we see that application of real life, and we're just trying to replicate it. And it's cool, like what Michael's doing now is giving it that pearlescent effect of the Trans Am on set. It's just really cool.
Yeah, I definitely find that I try and put some degree of realism into anything that I'm building, whether it's Gundam or it's a different type of model kit. Like some of my friends who have looked at my model cars, like I paint the oil filters in Fram colors.
That's cool. Right on. Awesome. That's cool.
And it's just because it's, I'm a car guy, right? And
It pays to play when you're doing that. You're like, oh, that's cool. And people see it, they're like, yeah, it's a frame filter.
well, and yeah, I've had people, like I've had friends pick up my cars, and they're looking under the engine, looking in the engine bay, or they're looking on the underside of the car, and they're like, dude, is that like an aftermarket, like little spin-on Fram filter? I'm like, no, I painted that.
Yep. Nice.
And they look at me and they're like, you painted the filter like a Fram filter? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, that's the point. Welcome to my world.
and they're like,
Really cool.
It's even got, like,
Really,
a little like rubberized grip on the backside. I'm like,
yeah, it's cool. Dude, it just, I like, that's the effect that we all want from people when they touch our toys. Like literally, they're like, "Oh man, that is just too cool," and just don't break it. But and they're just so they get into, or we just sit back and we just admire from afar because we've already played with all of everybody. You know what I mean? There's no reason to do whatever, but people
Yeah.
get that excitement from seeing your collection of things that you've done.
well, it's like with car models, what I tend to do is like the wheels, the rubber wheels that you get. I'll put it on one of my drills that I have here at home. I'll put the wheel on a drill, and then I'll spin it and then rub sandpaper up against the wheel as it's spinning.
Yep.
And marks
True.
up the tires. Right? It doesn't, so it gets rid of that whole look of like, oh, it's like a brand new tire. And then
I know what you're talking about. I like doing that too.
yeah, I'll scuff them so that they look like they're actually used. And I even on a couple of drag cars that I built, at the back of the wheel tub, down near at the base of the fender, I'll take that little dusted rubber after I've done clear coat, and I'll spatter it on there.
That's pretty.
And it looks like they've done it. It makes it look like the car's done a burnout, and the rubber's actually stuck to the fender.
Awesome. That's cool. I like it. I love it. It's all those little keys that like that. I try to bring some of that to that extent when it comes to what I'm building in the dioramas. It's just a little details. It's like, wow, because it's static. It's easy to replicate because it doesn't have to move, and none of the Gundam can obviously move. I mean, at some point somebody's going to be able to make a move, but for me, it's just the aspect that they're stationary, and I have little things that can move inside. So they can. It looks like there's a shuttle car that goes by with cargo, or comes back the other way with cargo, and they just have to stand there. I've been able to achieve that effect. But when you add extra detail, they start seeing that, and it's like there's mud tracks. There's mud tracks, and somebody starts that pointing, and everybody has to look, and they just keeps going. So if you find the right element, and I've found that in diorama building, and seeing incredible model builders out there like Luke Cowan. People like that really wanted me to push an edge, and I was like, can I bring these two together like head to head? And when they slammed together, that's what I got out of it. So that's still the unveiling that's going to come when I get a little bit further along in this work in progress.
When I have a 4x4, I actually built the scale model version of my first vehicle I ever had, which was I built an late 80s square body GMC Jimmy, one of the little S series trucks.
Yep.
But the kit was just the stock version. Well, I jacked it up. I stuffed off-road tires under it, did fender flares. I stuffed a small block engine out of a Camaro that I had kicking around. I yanked the engine out of that and stuffed it in, and did all this custom stuff that made it look like my truck. And then, because I used to take my truck out off-roading all the time, I spattered the side with actual mud. And it's a mixture of paint and sand and stuff like that.
Right.
But it looked like the truck looked like I just driven through a giant mud puddle. It was awesome.
Yep. Nice. I like it. Well, speaking of scale models, I mean, just to be, because we kind of just ventured off topic for a split second, I'm working on a battleship of all things. I need to get going, and I have a Tamiya tank. Man, I'm so impressed with Tamiya's stuff in a large scale. Not to knock anybody, but I'm definitely a Tamiya fan in so many ways. Scale models, RC cars. But I have a Tamiya tank model of an M60, and it's beautiful, and I love it. It's coming together fine. I'm going to be happy with it.
Yeah, I have a Tamiya M4 Sherman Easy 8 kit, and that's one of the things I'm working on. I have a P38 from Academy that I'm working on, and both Tamiya and Academy both put out phenomenal kits.
Academy, yep, big time.
Yeah.
Academy.
They go together so nicely. There's almost no flash. They're super, they just go together so nicely. And it's just it really is kind of like a treat to yourself to build one of those kits because they go together so well.
Yeah, it is.
And Gundam and Bandai does a phenomenal job with just about any kit that they've ever come out with, whether it's the Gundam stuff or any of the Star Wars models. I've had really good experience with their Star Wars stuff. It's great.
I've heard amazing things too, and I'm excited to get a couple because I'd like to get, because I'm a Star Wars fan too, so I'd like a couple of pieces to build. That'd be cool. Yeah, and Bandai for like the next generation is fucking, I mean, they slaps. They're good stuff. And I see them having great potential to do more if they choose to do so. I don't know if they ever would, because you know all the fanboys are dreaming like, dude, if they would just hook up with this and do this, yeah, we know everybody has a niche that we're all geeking over, and it's awesome. I think that because of that, their longevity is indeterminate.
I think Bandai has made a phenomenal decision in the fact that they've started kind of branching out into other forms of models.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That they're crossing that line a little bit.
Yeah, and
yeah, I really like their Batman. That Batman that just
but,
came out was a really nice build.
Good example. Good example. The bat suit was a good one. As far as I know, I didn't build it either, but I saw Mike did, and it was awesome.
I did it. Yep.
Yeah, I years ago I built a Millennium Falcon that was put out by Revell, and I'll be brutally honest, that kit was a nightmare to build. There was so much flash, there was so much muddled detail, like it was just horrific. And now I see, Bandai coming out with the Star Wars, like they've got all their Star Wars kits out and stuff like that, and I'm on the hunt for a new Millennium Falcon, because I want one of the Bandai ones, because I've seen how crisp and clean their other kits are. I really, really want to get my hands on another one. Yes, it's a big project and it takes a ton of time, but just to have all that really crisp, nice detail to play around with would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. But the battleship I have, it's a Revell kit, so that's all I need to say. Everybody knows. But it's worth it for me to do a little bit of work. I'm not doing a lot, but I'm trying to get rid of the shit flashing and see what I can do. Because I just want a piece to put away and say I built a battleship, and then maybe I'll look forward to something else, or I would like to get into spacecraft stuff. That'd be cool. But
You know,
It's
I
funny 'cause I've heard from people, and I don't know how. Oh man, that looks really good, Mike.
uh-huh.
damn, yeah, yikes.
I don't know how much truth there is to it. I've heard that Revell Germany and Revell USA, the difference between their kits is like night and day. Apparently, Revell Germany puts out absolutely stellar stuff,
Absolutely.
and yet the stuff that you get from Revell USA, it's just like it's the bottom of the barrel. It's garbage.
Well, it's because in America we're getting the used up mold, the used up print, and then over in Germany
Time too,
they're
there's a
making the print.
craftsmanship that is known, just like in Japan. And that's where I think we're separated, because we've lost that industrial edge, and they still have it. They're still making molds, and they're keeping them crisp, or they're reproducing the mold, because after a while we know when it's burnt out, it's it. And as you can tell, when it's been pumped too many times, and this is where this is, we're not making new molds because no one knows how to do that. Germany knows, Japan knows how to make those molds. And the
Well,
people that want to do it.
So here's a prime example. Like this has to do with the news kind of thing that me and Mike were working on. One of the topics that we've been want to discuss during that news is that new Gundam factory that they're building in Japan. Now, it's an absolutely mammoth facility.
Yeah,
Right? It's huge.
monstrous.
And that's great for Japan. That's great for our hobby, because it just means that they're going to be able to produce more. And, maybe kids will become a little easier to get a hold of here in North America.
Right.
But
Like one of the things that I was talking to Mike about was, we really need to, one thing that Bandai should really consider doing is they should consider getting a facility somewhere on the North American continent, because we're consuming so
Agreed.
rapidly.
I would love to work in a place like that. I've got good skills that would get me in the door of a place like that.
Absolutely. I would, that would definitely be a place that I would be more than happy to work.
Yep. That's what
too.
you're going to touch on quickly is we've lost that. I'm sorry to say, but we've kind of lost that vision in our country, where that industriousness has kind of gone away. And I mean, making drama TV is our #1 priority. But like in those countries, they're producing something really, man, to go take pride and work there. I've had jobs, you've had jobs where we took pride in what we did, and now they're kind of gone. Those days are over. And I'm like, dude, we had good days.
yeah,
But they're still living it, because they're still producing a culture that it thrives on that, and we could benefit from that. I'm from the steel mill part of the world here.
yeah. A prime example is Discovery's channel's Dirty Jobs.
Oh
You
yeah,
Uh-huh.
And the host of the show is absolutely correct in what he said, is that the people here in North America, and I'm not just saying the US or Canada, the people here in North America have completely lost their way in the respect of, it's not okay to be a mechanic. It's not okay to be a grease monkey. It's not okay to, put in an honest day's work. They want everybody, suit and tie, business attire, carrying a briefcase, sitting behind a computer terminal. And the reality of life is that, oh, Jesus, okay, you just keep blowing me away with your paint, man.
it's good stuff,
Like,
bro.
that's nuts.
You keep going, don't stop, man. We're all your fucking support.
Oh
Let's
no!
go.
Don't lose the V-fin. Don't lose the V-fin.
Death to the V-fin.
Oh,
But yeah, it's to get up in the morning and go to work, put in an honest day's labor. It's frowned upon nowadays. Like,
right.
people that I went to high school with, they look at me and they're like, "What do you mean you're a mechanic and a truck driver?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a mechanic and a commercial truck driver."
Right. I can break it, fix it, drive it. What do you need done?
Yeah,
It's like, what? I live in a real world.
yeah, if it's
The
got
position,
wheels or tank treads or wings, I can drive it, and I
Yeah.
can
the
get to where
position,
it needs to go. You
the
know,
pos,
but they're like, "Well, I work in a bank," and I'm like, "Yeah, well, good for you. I
Yeah.
make more an hour than you do, because I'm
Well,
willing to do that stuff. I'm willing to get behind the wheel of a big rig and drive 16 hours straight."
the position that I had at Home Depot, and well, the position that not a lot of people, not a lot of the associates who had the position that I had, the lot associate, they weren't taking that job serious, and me, I took it very serious.
Yeah,
yeah.
Any position that any job that I've had, I take it very serious.
yeah, and you should.
Because for me, I mean, uh, I don't have a college degree, but it doesn't mean that I can't have that job and enjoy it,
Yeah,
or at
I
least
I
enjoy the fruits that come from it.
Yeah.
I don't have a college or university degree. I have a mechanical certification, which here in Canada you do require to go to post-secondary to get. But I am considered a Red Seal mechanic, which is one step down from a master. I have a commercial truck driving license. I have what's called in Canada a Class 1 unrestricted license.
Mhm.
Right? So anything with wheels, doesn't matter how heavy it is, how many axles it has, I can drive it and I can fix it. So like I make good money at my job because I put everything into my job. I take it very, very seriously, and I learn all of the aspects of my job. Right? So I'm not just the guy who walks up to the rig and fires it up. I know how they load the trailers. I know how the warehouse works. I know how the shipping receiving is done. Right?
Mhm.
Because there's always going to come a time where so called in sick. Oh, grab Andrew. He can run the forklift and load his own trailer. And it happens. It happens all the time.
Yep.
So
Well,
Possess.
I'd rather take my job seriously and make myself that valuable employee who
Mhm.
gets paid more because I can do more.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, but you know what? You may have it visit. For those people who went to college and or university and got those degrees, that's great. If that was your thing, that was your thing. I'm happy being the redneck. I'm happy being the grease monkey.
Yeah, I mean, the other part of what I did at Home Depot was I wanted to make sure that I wasn't one of those associates, and I think I told my department supervisor. I think told an assistant store manager. I said I don't want to be one of those employees that's just a one trick pony, and who will eventually get bored, because that's one of the problems I got, is that if I'm just doing one task repetitive, it's going to get boring for me. I'm going to lose interest in it, and eventually I'm going to lose that job because I stopped taking the job serious. And that was one of the things that I applied when I was working at Home Depot, that I applied to myself, was make myself indispensable, learn the store, maybe learn a few things about the products that you can possibly offer an insight to for customers, even when the department associate's not there. Pretty much just step up. Learn to step up if you know you can do it.
Yeah. Well, it's a prime example is like my present job. I am a parts advisor at a local Hyundai dealership.
Mm-hmm.
And one of our service writers came up to me and said, "Oh, I need a set of tires for this car." And I was like, now, in all fairness, she'd only been with the company a month, and she used to be a Coca-Cola sales rep. She'd had no previous experience in the automotive business, which in itself, you should not be a service writer if you don't know what you're selling.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh yeah.
I mean that's my opinion. You shouldn't be recommending. You shouldn't be recommending service and repair to a customer vehicle if you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe she comes up and says, "I need a set of tires for this car," and I said, "Okay, what size?" And she looks at me and goes, "There's a size." I'm like, "Yeah." Well, aren't they the same for all that model? I'm like, "No, there's three different wheel and tire packages that come with that car. What package is it?" "Well, I don't know." "Well, I suggest you find out." And she's like, and the customer said something about wanting Yoko Ono. I'm like, Yokohama?
Bahama.
And she's like, "Yeah, I think that's what it was. They want those kind of tires." And I'm like, "Okay, so they want like serious high-end tires."
4 tires.
And she's like, "Well, what's the difference? Aren't all tires the same?" And I'm like,
Oh my God.
No.
I'm like, absolutely not. No, there are no tires. Tires are not created equally. Rubber is different. Compounds are different. They do different things for different speed ratings. And there's all this stuff that goes along with knowing this. And she's the one who's telling the customer, "Oh, we think you need new tires."
Right.
That is a prime example of someone who is in a bad situation. You've stepped into a job you know nothing about, and you're in a position where you need to know what you're talking about.
Right. Yeah. I worked in a lot of industries. I know, like Mike or Andrew has, complacency like that can get you killed.
Oh, yes.
Like, because you're working, you're doing something, you don't get bored. You don't just start daydreaming about some dumb shit, because you better be watching, because it's not just your life on the line too. Sometimes we work in teams in certain industries where, man, your brother, you're your brother's keeper. You keep them on a lifeline. They're watching your back too, and that's just a high level of intensity. That's all it is, really.
Yeah.
For jobs like that, I probably wouldn't be a good fit.
Right. It's just because it's high pressure. It's high pressure, and there comes a lot of common sense, but there's a lot of skills that when everybody gets together, we know how to use our skills and how to work together. There's just a special sauce, and those kind of people work well together.
There's a way to go about,
to take on a service advisor position is definitely a situation where
you want to have previous experience in the automotive field, especially when, like if a customer comes up, like if I'm the customer and they say to me, "Oh, Andrew, you need new brakes." My first response, because I'm a ticketed mechanic, is okay, well, where are they at? How much is left? Right? What's the percentage of use that's been used up? Because I know with the way I drive that I can only have 30% of my brake pads left, but I can make that. But because of how I drive my vehicle, that'll last me a year. So even though technically at 30% they're doing their job, they're recommending new pads, I know I don't have to get them right away because I'm very light on my brakes. But for somebody who doesn't know, like for them to just be like, "Oh, you need new brakes," any question that customer asks, they're going to have to either go and get a technician or go and get a parts guy to explain. And it just makes you look stupid because you don't know, and you should.
Yeah.
right? So it doesn't build confidence in your customer at that point,
Mm-hmm.
which for a car dealership is a bad thing.
Well, thank goodness I haven't worked at a car dealership.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't buy a Hyundai. Take
Oh,
it from me.
I had
Don't
one
buy one.
that I loved. It was a Santa Fe Limited. It was like a 2007. I got it pretty cheap, and I put a little bit of money into it and fixed all the speakers, and that thing was fucking slap.
Okay, let me rephrase that. Don't buy a Hyundai that's been built in the last 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Because Hyundai in North America right now, Hyundai has 3 class action lawsuits.
ooh.
Oh, that's a shame. Dude,
And-
that's a whole other topic we could get into. Like, if we can get a good web show going and get another car guy to chime in, because, like, dude, we love cars, and cars just aren't cars anymore. It's like, wait a minute,
No,
everybody's just fighting over some really funny shit.
and I apologize. I know I kind of went off on a tangent there, guys. So my
Okay.
apologies.
You're fine.
It's worth it though, to understand that, there's all kinds of people out there that build Gunpla, and here we are. Look, you're a professional mechanic driver. I'm a heavy equipment operator mechanic, and Mike's customer service and tool knowledge and stuff, and Mike's worked all kinds of stuff, does music production, video production. Like, that shit's hard for me, but I can get in an excavator, go dig a hole. I can run a shovel. I mean, I can run a small squad of men, a rifle. I mean, I just like to do things. I like to do them. I like to work in a team, especially.
And I'm the same way. I can jump in. I can drive to a job site, offload a 40,000-pound excavator off the lowboy, and go dig the hole with it, and then load it back up, chain it up, and drive it back to the yard at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it. I'm multi-talented. I'm multifaceted. I'm not just a one-trick pony, and that makes me a valuable employee.
Right. I like it. It's fun.
That's probably why for the last 10 years of my life, I've kind of dictated what my salary and my rate of pay is, because I don't work for cheap.
That I believe.
Yeah, you gotta know your worth. And you know what I mean, and that's how it comes. Because some people are like, can you give me what is it? Some people want like different invoices for things when you do certain types of work. It's like, look, it just costs money to get this done. I'm not just nickel diming you, and that's why it gets done quickly, it gets done efficiently, and it costs money.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my time making up this whatever, like trying to get you a bill of sale or whatever it is. It's really complicated because you just have to see all these numbers. It's not what this is about. You want a service, I'm making it happen. Watch. And here's the end of your receipt.
Oh, and even though I'm a parts guy, right, the number of times I've been hauled into the shop to go and do stuff because I can do I can assemble tires and rims, I can do brake jobs, I can tear engines out. The number of times I've been hauled into the shop because they're shorthanded and they need somebody who can turn and burn steel. They're like, hey, Andrew, I need 4 tires on that car. That needs brakes. I'm like, I'm on it. Do.
Next thing you know, they're like, hey, what are you doing? You're sitting there. I'm like, I'm done. What else do you need? I'll wait on you. It's a nickel holding up $1.
Yeah. Actually, there was a car that I did all new tires, an all new braking system, in 45 minutes.
Wow.
Like, tore all the old brake assembly out, bled the brake lines, all new brake lines, all new calipers, rotors, discs, pads, new rubber on the tires, busted them down, ripped the old tires off, new ones on, balanced on the car with an alignment done in 45 minutes.
Yeah, book it.
Damn.
It's all about knowing the tricks, right?
Yep.
When you're in a fully equipped shop and the tools are there,
you're not fumbling for shit. All your stuff's right where it should be.
I know where my stuff is, and I can turn them, and I can make cars. I can punch cars in and out of the shop faster than some of our master mechanics can.
Wow.
Because I've been doing this for 25 years.
Dang.
I started working on cars when I was 15.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
So I know a thing or two.
And I
Started with
believe you, man.
motorcycles and shit as a kid. Motorcycles, small engines. And then it turned into cars when I got to be about 10, 12.
My high
I got to
school,
admit that
I had
I
a
got to admit,
S.
looking at.
Go
Oops,
ahead.
go ahead, Mike.
Oh, at my high school, I had a SAE certified auto mechanics course, and
Yeah.
Nice.
I took the first 2 classes for that. So I know some things, but let's just say I don't like to do it. Like it's just not my, you know, I'm too big. I just don't fit in those tiny cars.
Yeah, it's something you get used to, believe it or not.
So I
Trust
mean
me.
I get it. I'm just saying like I don't like feeling claustrophobic.
Yeah, I get it, Mike. Because I'm about the same size you are, right? Like you're 6'3", I'm 6'3". We're both roughly 300-ish pounds, right in around that area.
Oh
We're
yeah.
both big guys.
Yep.
I'm just used to, like, I have no problems, shoehorning myself into the engine bay of a Honda.
See, I can't do that. Like I get like this, and then I go, how do I can't do this, you know? Like,
Yeah, and trust me, there have been numerous times where my arm's been bent in ways it shouldn't be bent, and I'm literally like just the tip of my finger is spinning a nut on, so that I can get this
oh
one
geez.
part into place. And it's not necessarily the most fun in the world, but I don't know. It's my thing. It's
Oh, I know.
for me. It's
Some,
relaxing.
for some people, yeah, gearing it up is definitely. Well, I'm glad I painted that whole part.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Heck yeah.
Also,
Nice.
It's beautiful.
magic paint. It doesn't scuff or scrape. Magic paint.
Cheat code paint.
Yeah, I've
cheat
had.
code paint.
Yeah, I think I've had to. I think I've had to be in awkward positions just to build stuff, or if there's a product that's caught someplace, I'd have to pretty much take my hat, if I had my hat on, take my hat off, pretty much take my apron off, and really get into that shelf.
Yep.
Just climbing in that shelf. And I'm pretty sure there probably had been a customer or two like, dude, what are you doing? What the heck?
We have in our warehouse at our dealership in our warehouse we have pallet racking and high steel, and the number of times that I've scaled the racking to go get a part that's up on the top shelf on a skid, because it's not worth my time to go and get the forklift to get the pallet to bring it down to get one part. I'm like, screw it, I'll just climb the shelf.
Yeah.
My boss has come in and looked at me and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, just getting an alternator. He's like, you are too big to be climbing that shelf. Well, I'm doing it anyways.
Yeah.
Don't try to catch me.
Yeah, please, because he's an old man and he's not a big guy.
Yeah, if I ever got caught doing that, they'd write me up first, or
Oh, you can't do that in a big corporate store like that. No doubt.
In a big box store, absolutely not. They will fry you alive.
Cool.
It's like that Instagram thing, I'm gonna do some sketchy shit. Hope I get away with it.
Yep. Those days are over. Kind of.
Some days you're the reason that there's the workplace safety meeting, and other days you're the guy they call to do the sketchy shit to make sure it gets done.
Exactly. Oh boy. No
we
doubt.
need you to get this stuff. It's up there. Yeah, we know.
I've pioneered some things in the oil industry, working in the field, doing some sketchy shit, boy. Oh, Lord. Oh my! Because
I'm sure we all have.
you're in a random, not random, but you're in a remote location, and everybody there is there to make money, and the people that are in charge of that place have all control. And as long as that job is getting done, that money is flowing. And you got to
Yep.
sometimes come up with the most insane bullshit to keep that money in your pocket.
Yeah, when I was a
Oh,
hardwood
yeah.
floor sander,
And do whatever.
hardwood floor sanding, we were supposed to call an electrician in every time we needed to hook our machine up to the breaker box. Let's
Yep.
just say somebody learned how to do it himself.
Hell yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just 3 wires. Plug them in. Make sure you're grounded. You know,
Yep.
don't flip the switch unless all 3 wires are plugged in. That's the only rule. You know,
Yep.
and yeah, so I had to learn how to do a little bit of electronic work on houses so that I could you know, hook up my machines when I was a floor sander because you had to have 220 amp service.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so and I don't mean 220, I mean 220 amps, like 2
Yeah.
separate 20
Right.
0 amps. So
Right.
Yeah.
and then you would ground on the main ground, and then you would power directly into 220 amp breakers. And
Yep.
oh man, it was a powerful machine I was using.
Yep.
It could strip lead off the floor. You know, that's how powerful that thing was.
But
Yeah. It's working in the not necessarily the trades, but you know, I mean, working in or around the trades. Um, you learn more than one job, and I think
Oh
that's
yeah,
just kind of how it goes. You're never just a mechanic. You're never just a
no,
driver. You're never just anything. You're never just one thing. You know how to do the job of 3 or 4 people.
Jack of all trades, master of none. It's still better
Absolutely.
being than master of one.
yeah. What that guy said.
That's how that goes. It always says jack of all trades, master of none, and that's every. They stop. The rest of it says jack of all trades, master of none is better than being a master of one.
Yep.
yeah, that
You're
that
useful.
that
You're more.
I'll agree
You're more
with.
useful. Like you're very niche. That's very good. All you can do is sand. I can do a bunch. So I'm not a master of anything, but I look forward to progressing as far as I can with everything that I test.
All right, guys. I unfortunately have to get off, but it has been a fun chat, and I will see you guys soon. See you on Friday.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
not be there.
Yep.
If
I'll be there
you're
with you.
there, then there's a problem.
Yeah. Maybe not just after the fact, but I was like, I should be there. I have plans to be there because this is off road racing week, and I don't have an off road setup for my RC car yet, so I should be there and help you out and chill it up.
All
Awesome.
right. We'll see you guys later.
All right.
All right, see you later,
Hey,
Andrew.
what time is it? It's 11:33. I
Yeah,
was gonna see if I could actually get a leg standing here with the Zaku that I'm working on.
I'm just building some arms.
Yeah, I was just playing on my Dissidia game and nothing new, no powerful weapons to get.
Hmm. I know nothing about this.
What is it? I wasn't even listening. I was trying to read some instrucciones.
Oh. I'm trying to figure out which of my models. I'm also trying to figure out which of my models that I should decorate my my the head of my bed with, because I've only got my Gem Custom AU that I painted up, and I kind of got some other stuff, but it's like I wanna decorate my the head of my bed with a few more gunpla.
Gunpla is good.
Ankle joint going on here finally.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I guess it's kind of got an inner frame in a way, but it's really kind of got an inner frame going on here. So I'm gonna build the inner frame as I go, just so I can get a leg going on. Nice. This is interesting. I kind of like this build. Wow, pretty impressive. What a nice design. I would buy this kit again, I think.
I might go through what tools I got and see if I can maybe do one or two things built before I get my other tools back on Sunday. But I think I'm probably I know for a fact I want to put my Pale Rider suits out on display on my bed, well, on my headboard.
All right, this thing is cool. It's got this cool double knee joint. It's really neat how it folds into the armor.
Mm-hmm.
That is really cool so far. That's sick. All right, getting a leg up on the competition.
Good one.
When I get lucky. But hell yeah, this is going good so far. And then it'd be what I continue working on Friday. And then we'll see. I don't know. It's going to take a little while to get it going because I got a few projects all at once running at the same time. But
yeah, I gotta move my container that's got my media stuff just so I can get to my drawer with the tools, with whatever tools I got left.
right. Hey, do you guys see some of that? What is it? The Yellowstone footage.
Which one?
The main road that goes into Yellowstone, washed out, and the big bridge.
Yeah.
That
I
I
saw the
saw.
report on that.
Like, dude, who didn't think when they built that shit at some point, like even 100 years ago, been like, maybe this river's gonna swell and get really fucking big one day? No, it won't get that big. History repeats itself. It's a river. It's a flood valley. At some point, it's gonna happen. There you go. Stupidity wins again.
Yeah, I had a couple friends who went up to Yellowstone. I'm hoping they left. Nah, no, they were up there. I think when Pokemon Go Fest happened earlier this month. So
hiking around and catching Pokemon in the forest, getting eaten by bears.
No.
See somebody being really stupid, just be like, "Ooh, just going along," and just walk right into fucking some dumb shit. You know how we are.
Those are the people you root for.
Yeah, I would like to. I want them to win, but they're a danger to themselves. They're lemmings.
I didn't say root for them as root for. Okay. It's okay. I'm just, being that guy right now. I'm sorry.
No, you're okay.
Hey, they want to go and see if their nature's number one. I'm not going to stop them. I will actually encourage them.
Well, I think my battery's at 20% is at 20%, so I think, and I don't know what my dad's got planned for tomorrow, so I gotta get off.
You gonna skedaddle?
Yeah.
Alrighty,
Right
man.
on. All
All
right,
right.
Mike.
Nice talking to you
Well,
guys.
thanks for
See
having
you
me
on
on.
Friday. Huh?
You're good. Thanks for coming up, being on, chilling
No
with us.
problem, man. Bye.
All right, man. Later.
See you later, Mike. Raw. Yeah, buddy. A bit confused.
All right.
It's alright. It's alright.
Yeah, I can put a little thigh armor. I can do some leg day here. I'll do a little leg work, and I'll have a better foothold for Friday night.
Sounds great. I like it.
The thigh armor goes on really easy. This is really sweet. This kit is, dude. This is tits. I'm happy.
I am super liking how intricate this kit I'm building is working out.
Yes, it's looking good. Every little bit you show me, it looks really good. You're on it.
So just- we go there.
Just getting in mode, and where I'm standing, I'm like, God, I loved it. I love it doing it. When I got the right tool, doing the right work. Still have not found my gun primer balancer sponge yet that I think my cat snatched off with.
Oh no. That
They're
looks
coming
good.
around. I'm on the hunt. So if anybody out there in TV land, is tuned into the Pirate Broadcast Channel signal, has seen a lost gun primer balancer sponge, that is mine.
We're on the hunt.
Dude, but anyway, the first wave of member decals are in the mail, so it was easy to take care of that. So you'll be receiving one soon. That'll be exciting to see.
Awesome.
Everybody's gonna get different timing because we're spread out, but it's growing. So wave one is officially rock and roll. It's in the mail.
Alright. Who's this arm?
I need some armor. I need some thigh armor though. What do we got here? E1, Ewok. This red's pretty badass though. Okay, see, these are just weapons. I don't need this one yet. Maybe. Oh.
Alright. The upper half is complete.
Nice. Yeah, it's got an awesome finish to it. So far, so good. Looking beautiful. Cool. What are your plans for the finished product? Are you gloss coating? Like, what is your ideas? What do you think you should not do?
Well,
To give our viewers
before I can coat this, I want to let the kit breathe for a week. Even if
Gotcha.
it's put together, it needs to breathe and fully cure for a week. Like G-Paint's really good, but one of the things that I've noticed is if you don't let it cure for a long time, it'll rise back out when you put another solution. And it doesn't matter if it's water base or another lacquer or whatever on top, it'll just rise back out. And because I'm using so many metallics on this kit, I kind of just want to let the whole kit breathe for that long before I do anything. But I'm going to do a clear coat, and I'm going to do some water decals, and then after water decals, I'm going to do another clear coat, and we'll see from there. Maybe a third, like super clear coat, like just heavy laid on gloss. Maybe. I don't know yet. I'm super happy with the way it looks. Like there's in person, it looks so much. The camera's just is not doing justice to this thing.
I know it's reflective and that shiny that it just can't pick up right, I'm sure. But the color looks good. You got a good palette going.
Oh man. There we go. That's as close to good that it's gonna pump out for you.
All right, but yeah, that is good. I like it.
I'm super excited. Dude, these arms are crazy too. These are definitely some different kind of Gundam arms here. Like
What do you mean?
full spindles, man.
Oh, right on. Okay. Oh, gotcha.
So yeah, that's basically what's in my hangar. I got this. I got the two other MGs that need to be water slides, and then I got that motorcycle that I'm still not ready to go back to yet. So that's where I'm at for what's in the hangar, man. Not too much, not too far off from anybody else either. I'm just so excited to finally be done painting this guy to get it put together. Just one of those.
I knew a process you were working on there. And, you had to stay steady in it, and that's cool. Some serious time and hour. It pays off. It shows, bro. Good job.
There's a very big payoff. It always feels good to put your time and energy in and get back what you're hoping to get back, you know?
Right.
That is not the right one. Not the right one.
So speaking of which, it kind of leads us into, we'll finish this up here, and that's what we're working on here, the Kit Bash hangar. Growing the community a little bit at a time.
Yeah, buddy.
We've done a lot. So I know you had some exciting news. You know that we were up a membership, and it's just kind of on auto because we're doing good things, and we're going to have some exciting news to offer.
Yeah, I'm super excited and happy about the membership moving up faster. I'm happy that a lot of our newer members are becoming involved faster.
Yep.
You know, the encouragement for that and getting that back is so great. That's such a great thing.
Exactly. So how do we get lucky? There's so many awesome people, like, in the community, and they start to step out of their box a little bit, and we've given them this opportunity to do it.
Exactly.
And we've led by example. We've kind of paved the way. We've done it ourselves now, and we're trying to continue. And it's kind of set the tone for others. And this is really exciting where this is going to go, and the people that are involved.
That shield just looks so pretty.
Yeah.
So I'm done with the arms. Now I'm on the legs. It looks like there's a lot of parts for the legs, man.
Oh yeah.
It just does. I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to sound like pre-defeated or anything, but
No, it's totally understandable.
I'm just
It didn't sound like that at all. It sounded like a good assumption based on maybe a number you're looking at or a pile of color. I get it. I understand. It didn't sound defeated. It sounded like an estimation of like, oh man, how many? You got to just be careful. You're building a beautiful project.
yeah, I'm taking my time and getting it done right. And like you saw when I did the scratch test earlier on that piece, right?
Yeah, I was checking that out.
There's nothing, no scratches. It just came back down, just the way it went out. I was like, wow. That's a trip, So like, my first experiences with painting Gunpla is not very good. So let's just say with this product, I definitely feel like, hey, cheat code's activated.
Right.
Nothing between the two. So the foot, solid gold. And I
So
understand.
that's what I got out of it. I got a couple legs and some knee armor.
Nice.
It's a pretty awesome, crazy knee joint bend there. And these I guess it's going to be, I got these holes in the outside armor. I guess that's where there's going to be a side skirt that goes over it, where I can put like the heat hawk or whatever on the leg.
Heard.
Very, very cool. Yeah, man. You have to let me know. And for anybody that was checking that out there in the corner, you see that Kit Bash member Gundam, Kit Bash Gundam member decal. Totally be able to get a link in the description
Yeah,
for anybody else to be interested in what's left of Wave 1 for the limited edition. Because I want to change the colors, and they're going to be maybe different designs. Because you guys deserve the recognition, and this is how we set ourselves apart.
damn right. That's awesome.
So,
I'm
all right,
excited.
Michael, official Web C.
All
I
right.
think tonight, and I really appreciate the hangout tonight, even though we had a little bit of issues here at Mission Control. It's
Yeah,
not something we can't overcome because I know we got it going on.
and I will
But
get a video up and going sometime tomorrow when I'm having some downtime.
no worries.
All right.
But yeah, we got to definitely work on my setup.
All right. And yeah, just other than that, I mean, like, you could always do the texting and talking to people on the computer, and then, use your phone first, because it seems like your phone worked a lot better when you switched to your phone. So
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
was giving the guys a hard time. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna tell that old guy, quit using that computer.
Because I mean, I've got a really nice phone, and it's way more powerful than my
Oh,
computer is. But I was just trying to work something out. But maybe this is not the way to go. But I got a really nice phone, so that'll help.
we'll get it figured out that way.
Absolutely. But yeah, thanks for watching. Totally tuning in again. We're gonna
Yep.
keep doing this because
Awesome.
Websy does his on Friday, and we're gonna start one on Wednesday. We're looking for more people to start different days of the week.
All right. And we'll check you out next time.
Right on. Later.